Alright, seems like we're live now. Alright, so hey everyone, this is George Williams from Left Hand Productions Squared, and we're here today to do our first live stream on the official channel for the game. I have done one of these before for Odyssian Void type work, but this is the first time doing a live stream right on the actual channel. I was actually not aware that it was eligible for live streaming till today, so I figured. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go over some of the stuff I've done to work on a slight kind of basic UI mock-up to see what coding would need to be done, what scripting, and etc. for UE4, and also completing the rest of what's still left to go. I figured that I would get to work on this now because why not? It's February 8th. Technically, we're in the next development cycle for the game, so might as well move right on over to this, since this is the one thing that I wanted to do but couldn't do last time for the last developer development cycle. So get it out of the way early. So this is made with 4.18.3, and it uses a third-person template, I guess. To just kind of to brush out the fill out the stuff that's would have to be made in addition to the stuff to add the UI. Basically, is what's in here. Just the configuration for like the movement and the character animation and the geometry to walk across and all that stuff. Now these boxes I added myself, but everything else in here is what was already here. Just these boxes are new. So what I wanted to do with this was just basically do what I was trying to do before and couldn't do because it wasn't working. Assets were open in the editor. Don't restore. Because I don't know what was wrong with it. I guess I just didn't have it set up correctly or something. But so I just had, like in the other map, I just had these boxes that would take stuff off of the health and whatnot, different health interfaces, which is what these do. Over here is a recovery pad, which will heal everything that's damaged. So let me just go ahead and show you what I have so far. What I have so far is each of these pads will work in terms of reducing their particular health interface, but there's extra stuff for the shield pad, which you'll see here in a second. Hopefully OBS is recording it, so I'm not sure if it is or not. So, hull reduces the hull health. Step off it, it stops. Same thing with the armor. When we step on this now, you'll see other things going on with the shield bar. And then if I step over here, same thing, only heals the shield right now, but it's also a different type of animation on the bar. Very slow heal. So that's what I've got so far in this. What we're going to be doing in this video is taking the code that allows this to work for shield and extending it to the other two, and then also applying the animations from both of these onto for these. The animation is actually tied to the UI, not to these specifically, but the way that these call it, we'll have to do for these two, at least for that, and then add the other calls that this uses to do the recharge or healing animation to the other ones. That's what I've got so far. I'm going to go check. Yes, it is reading it. Good. Alright, we got some it says stream health issues. Stream health is lower than recommended bitrate. Should be fine. Anyway, so I guess the first thing we'll do is we will look at the UI widget and figure out what animation types we want to use for these. So right now I'm just using this basic kind of thing. In the future I'll be making a thing down here like I had tried to do on the other version of this that's like circular, and I'll have like a mask or something on it that will like segment it up, kind of like on EVE Online, how they have it there. Maybe. I'm still I'm still thinking about that, if I want to make it that close to EVE Online or not. But what this is just basically a panel that has two vertical boxes in it. In these vertical boxes, we have our different elements. So we have labels here, text boxes, and we also have then progress bars over here, which are tied to, rather not tied to, but they're bound to variables from the third-person player blueprint. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the animation, and we're going to basically just copy these, if I can. Let me see. Duplicate. Duplicate. I'm going to do this twice. Alright, and I'm going to just get rid of this one. So I'm going to rename this to... shield, so arm, flash. I'm not going to call it charge because we're not charging armor, we're repairing it. So our repair, REP, RPI, repair. What's a good acronym? A good, thing for repair. Rep. Something, I don't know. I'm gonna pause the stream a second and check this stuff out. Something's using a bit more RAM and CPU. I just want to make sure I don't have anything running in the background that's... Well, it could be OBS, I suppose, but just give me a second here. Sure, here we're up again. Okay, we are. So yeah, it was just it was OBS. This I don't know, this paging file, for whatever reason, Waterfox and some other things just chew up my paging file like you wouldn't believe. And it also doesn't get released after things get closed for some reason. It's a problem with Windows, I think. Anyway, so we have these animations that we're going to modify for each different type of interface. Health, rep. Oh, duh, this isn't gonna be right. This is gonna be damage. Arm flash DMG. So I guess hull will be rep 2, really. It's not going to be different. You're not going to do anything different than repair a hull. So we'll call it rep 2. Hull repair, hull damage. Alright. So, now we got to figure out what we want to use for these colors. And I also have to modify the colors. So 0.01... 0.27. Oops. Alright, so we got the green there. This is on repair. So, what are we going to use for repair? Don't want to use yellow. What color? Maybe just like a white? Maybe a white or green somewhere in here somewhere? A lighter green, maybe? for the repair. For damage, we're probably just going to go green to red. We'll see how this looks. We'll go a little bit wider. So 0.5, well, 0.51, 0.88, 0.47. Let's close that. 0.51. 0.88, 0.27. And then this is back to our other one, which is 0.01, 0.27, and 0. Should be 0. There. .01, 0.27, 0. Alright. So let's go ahead and play this and see how it looks. We'll need to increase our percentage here to actually see it. That looks good. Maybe a bit wider on this. So for whites, go this direction. Yeah. Alright, let's see what that does. Oh, we're going backwards. I'm going to go forwards. That looks a bit, that's better. I like that look better. Now we just need to make it apply to not the shield. Set a new track for armor bar. Armor bar. And we'll just basically take this, drag it up onto there. Well, okay. This, damn you, come on, move. Can I copy? Paste. Okay, there we go. We will delete this now. Maybe I'm not digging the white so much. It'll do for now, so I can figure out something a little bit better. Now for the damage, let's go to track, add this in, copy this, and delete that. Alright, so again we have to set the green here, 0.01, 0.27, and 0. And set here again. Now for this one, I like to do the intermediary from. The reason I did it like this is because when you do it with just red to blue, the transition from blue to red is pink. So you got like this pink flashing thing going on. So I thought, okay, let's just make it blue to yellow because that's a little bit less pinkish, and then yellow to red, and then back. So that's what we're gonna do with this as well. Even though I don't know what the actual color transition would look like from green to red. I think it would probably go through yellow, to be honest. But we're going to put in our other colors here. 0.51, 0.88, 0.52. I think that's what we ended up at. 51, 88, 54. Okay, it's off by 2. Still, that's pretty good from memory. 4. Come on, 4. And then same thing over here. 51, 88, 54. Something didn't change. The last one again. There. 0.01, 0.27, and 0. And then also our last one here. Not sure why this is out here for. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. So our animation time is a little bit long, that's why. Zero point 0.01, 0.27, and 0. Okay. Now what does this look like? Got a weird color change at the end there or something. I've seen this before where it just doesn't, like in the middle here somewhere, there's like the color shifts when it doesn't need to. So this is 1270 to 1270, but as you can see it changes in here when it shouldn't. And I just don't know, the only way I figured out how to fix that was to actually just delete the previous points and recreate them. Because the shifting in there just doesn't update when you change it from a different color or back, or something happens, I'm not really sure. It might be a bug, it might just be how the thing is set up to work. To be honest though, I don't think we even need these end ones, do we? Because they'll stay this color. Maybe. Let's go. Yeah, that white doesn't, it's kind of jarring, the white in there. Though, I mean, it makes some sense. I mean, you're not repairing, you're damaging, and you're giving like a direct notification of that with that, but I don't know. The 3-color shifting may or may not work. You might have to figure out a different color for each one for when it's taking damage, instead of just using red. Anyway, so we got that one done. We do the same thing with these now. Now this one's interesting. Health is supposed to be red. What do we flash it to when we're taking damage? Damn. Lost the... Okay. So maybe we can do middle of the road colors for the regular colors, and then when they're healing, we flash them to a lighter version. When we're taking damage, we flash them to a darker version. That might be another way to go about it. I'm not going to do that. Well, I guess I could set that up now. I mean, it's just the change the colors is all it is. So... Well, first let's figure out the actual color we want to use. It's going to be kind of middle. It shouldn't be like a dark blue, but it should be a middle of the road blue. This might be like some version of the color here where we're using it too. Or maybe we could do one of these kind of blues and set the saturation down. So this could be like the color the bar is. You flash it to here when it's healing, or you flash it to here when we're taking damage. Yeah, I think that'll work. It's actually probably pretty close to where it was in the first place. So, what do we use for the color? So it's, yeah, actually it is exactly the same. Or no, it isn't. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that is the same. Okay, never mind. We don't have to change that. What we need to change is this to. Well, first we'll set it to. Well, this is only changing the opacity and the color. Fill color. Well, the fill color and opacity. Somewhere in here. Section. Relative absolutes. Add new key at current time. Well, let's see what happens with this. Oops, zoomed out. Didn't want to do that. I want to go there. So 0, 5, and 1. Alright, then we're just going to go up here and change the, so this is recharge. Okay, so still looks pretty blue though. Yeah, I'll need to fix the color on the main part of it. So blue. Yeah, it's not changed. Interesting. So 0.55, 0.77. Okay. Yeah, it looks better. I think it might still be a little bit too white. Let's drag the green down a little bit. Drag the red down a little bit. Should still be noticeably blue. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Jeez, now for this. So, let's see, 0, 5, now with the middle one. 35, 58, 1. So that's what we have to change here. 35, 58, 1. It's 0.1, should be 1. Or, no. We don't need to do this 3-stage. It's the same color, in the same color range now. We won't have that weird stuff going on. So we can just pull this into 1 second. Shrink this down. Whoops. I think it's 1 second. How long is this? Or no, it goes to 0.5. Right. Okay, so I think we're off a little bit. 0, everything on the middle hashes. Alright. So these ones are fine. This middle one we have to change now. Let's change it back to 0, 0.5. And then to 1. Now from here, we want to find a darker blue color to flash it to. Something like this, 0.1.21. Yeah, it looks like it should work. All right. We actually already kind of did the same thing down here on the armor. We just need to flip this around to go the other way and shrink it. Oh wait, it is already on 0.5, isn't it? Yeah, okay. We just need to take out some of this stuff and rearrange it. There are these key points, well, keyframes. This keyframe over here. Oops, didn't want to do that. This keyframe there. Alright. So, set these back to our, what is it? Come on. 0.1, 2, oh yeah, 0.270 and 0. 0.1, 0.27, and 0. Alright, and then this middle one, same thing. It's kind of an interesting progression there, though. That's more of like what you normally would want, actually. But 0. Alright. Now, I'm going to do the same. It's actually kind of dark. Yeah, I want to lighten it a little bit. 0.44. Oh, 7. For the dark part. Let's make sure we change these as well to 0.44. Well, that's interesting. And on this, 0.01, 0.440. It's a little bit grayer. Nothing I really do about it due to how the. So this is 0. So this is 4.4. This is 0.1. 0.01 rather. Something like that. Alright, that'll have to do, I guess. So 0.2, 0.4, 0.21. Well, 22, 44, 121. Points 22, 0.44, 0.21. I don't think it'll be quite as good because it's a darker. On this one, it's darker. No, who says we have to do that though? And we could just switch it up and go to a lighter shade of green. Oh wow, it's kind of off. We want it. So 0.39, 1, and 36. Better. And then down to the hull flash, which we need to put onto the hull bar. And copy it up there. Rid of that. Okay. Definitely don't want to use that deep crimson red. But I don't want to use a really light color red either. I want something kind of just lighter than blood red. I think maybe right in here. So 0.61. Okay. So we're on repair right now. So 0.6100. And then we want to go to a lighter shade of it. So 0.6100. And this will kind of look a little bit pink, but that's what we got. So 93, 46, 46. Okay, and then this whole mess we gotta fix. All right. So 0.6100. Oops. A while ago, I went and tried to clean this keyboard and took the keys off of it. In the process, some of the number pad keys got really jacked up, so sometimes it's hard for me to push them down properly. Especially the 0 key. Alright, now this one should already... Well, that's on 1. We don't want that. 0.61. There. Now, we need a darker version of that red. So, something like maybe even darker than what we had before. So yeah, 0.03. That could probably work. 0.03. Of course, I'll have to fix this because it's on the wrong bar. hall bar. Simple thing to do. Delete that. Alright. So I'll have to fix what it is outside of these animations now. So there's that. So they're all sitting outside of the flash now. Alright, so this is what they are at their normal states, which is totally not correct anymore. It should be these colors. So 5, 1. 0, 5, and 1. Okay. One 27, 0. And then this one should be 0.61. Come on, 6. Alright. Then we'll drag them all down to their lowest points. Alright, so that is the UI stuff. At least setting up the animations. Now we need to actually tie these animations into the functionality here. So we're looking at shield flash. Alright, so this is our function we're going to use here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. I'll copy this bit minus these. Going to create a new function, call it arm flash. Going to give it a input bool, same as the other one called is damage. B, okay, I call it B as damage on this one, so I'll call it the same. And we'll paste the stuff in here. So link that up, connect to that condition, and now we need to get the flashes. So get arm flash. So damage true, it's damage. Set that there. Wait. I think we're doing this. I gotta open up another. One thing I hate about this is that the asset window is always on top of the main window. So when you need to go look up something, you have to kind of drag it around and look at things weirdly like this. I need to go to the geometry and recover pad. So I think yes. Okay. We don't need to do that anymore. That was part of the old system, the old way I was trying to do it. That didn't quite work right. By calling those functions to create start the animation based on. So if the player is taking damage, I had functions that said take damage, recover, whatever. Take damage, shield, recover, shield, and from there was calling the same function, that flash shield function, and passing through a bool whether or not it was actually taking damage or not. Instead of doing that, I'm doing the stuff here now, because now I can just say, okay, let's just start it once, and then stop it when we need to, and not try and call it and run it every time, every tick of the game. So what happens now is that once the player steps onto one of these platforms, this is processed. So we're checking is overlapping, which is a bool condition. If it's false, so if the player is previously not stepping on it, we cast the object to a third-person character blueprint object, and then set the overlapped object, which is a reference, like a reference in this object to that third-person character blueprint. Then we also send that over to the target for take SP damage, so that we take the shield damage. Set overlapping to true, then pass that same reference to get HUD to get the reference of the HUD, the UI widget object, blueprint object. Set that to that reference, HUD reference, in this object. Pull out the shield flashing charge, and then set that animation in the as the played animation here, and make it play until the player steps off of it, off the platform, and it'll go through and kind of reverse some of those things. Unsets the overlapped object, but it does get the shield flashing charge instead of damage. Shield flash charge, shield flash charge. Interesting. Shield flash CHG. Oh, we stopped that animation. All right, never mind. And then we stopped the animation. I was thinking the damage animation. That's on the other pad, the shield damage pad. So we actually don't need that stuff in the UI anymore. Don't need these functions. Get rid of those. My care. We do need that still. Alright, so we can go ahead and recompile this now. Save it, and then recover pad. So now what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna make this even more complicated looking than it already is. First, I'm gonna pull this down a bit. So we're gonna need all the room we can get with this, because this is going to heal, and it's going to heal all the different damage that can happen, and also play all the animations, all the healing animations. So what we need to do here now is basically we just need to do some more, 2 more of these nodes. So I'm going to do get arm flash repair. That'll be our animation here. And then we want to do the same thing down here for hull. Flash repair. And then we need to do the same thing here. 2 more of those. Alright, we need to also do a connection with this for the target. Alright. Target and target. Get hull flash. No, I thought, okay, I did typo the name. Damn. Might have to redo those ones. Let's go and compile this real quick. Where are the animations? In Designer, right. Rename to double L. Recompile. Okay, automatically updated. Nice. Good. I was hoping it would. Wasn't sure if it would though. So we're starting the animation here, stopping it here. Now that's not the only stuff we have to do. We have to do this up here now too. So up here on the on event tick, we're actually doing the actual damage, or repairing the actual damage, I guess I should say. Let's go ahead and upgrade this to maybe a 5. So, now what we have to do is, I will need to call yes, we can do multiples. Good. So, is AP full? So this is just a basic function in the third-person character blueprint that will compare the max and the max AP and the min AP, or whatever, if it's SP or HP, those two variables, and see if the max, if they're equal. So if they are equal, it won't do anything. So it'll return true, and true doesn't go anywhere. False, in other words, if it's not full, it'll go through the rest of it. Right. Oh, you can only do one, can't you? Damn. Alright, and we're going to have to get a little bit messy with this, I think. I guess there only can only be one execution path. You can have multiple references tying things together, but you can only go through one execution path, I guess. And I can fix this later. Once we do that, we need a branch. Connect that condition. Then false. On false, recover SP. So we need to call recover AP. So false, recover AP. We're doing 0.5 on that. Let's do 0.25. Or was it 0.05? 0.5, yeah. 0.025 on this. Then pull off another reference to is HP full. So, oh right, okay, this comes down to here, this comes across to here. I'm trying to get them set up the same way so they looks a little bit better. We need another branch here. Pull that off into there. Then we need another reference to that function. Cover HP. False. And we'll do another 0.025 on that. Alright. So now what this will do is on every tick we'll go through this execution path. So first we'll check to see if... Here's the problem though. We should pull off true to is AP full. And pull off this true to here, because if it's false, whoops, not that one. We want to still check the other one. So we don't, if something is full, I don't want that to negate us from checking if AP is full, doing that branch, recovering the AP if we have to, then checking HP full, etc. Same thing with the AP full. So we want to make sure that we're checking everything every tick. And the only way to do that is to also make sure that true, if this comes out that AP is full, true is still, we're still allowing the branch to process to the next health level. So that should do that. Alright, let's go ahead and compile that. Save that. And save this. And let's see if it actually works the way I think it's going to. So we'll just take some damage here, take some damage here, and take some here. I like that damage a little bit better. Now if I step on this, perfect. Everything is working. All the animations are playing. Let's see, hull should finish first. And then it should, well, we won't tell if it stops or not, because it'll just stop. But actually the way we can tell is if I go and step on the hull plate and we don't take damage, then we know that it didn't stop. Good. What was happening before was I was not actually checking. It probably would still happen on this though, but I wasn't checking on these plates whether or not we were at 0 on the health interface. And I was taking it below 0, and when I stepped over here, nothing was happening, or it was happening very slowly because of how slow this regenerates. So cool, that's working now. I'm pretty sure that, well, this one is fixed. I'm not sure I fixed the other two yet. So it'll stop there. Now if we just, let's just see what happens with this one. Step on it for a little bit longer. Alright, so now we shouldn't, yeah, I didn't fix that yet. I don't know if it'll actually start creeping across or not. Or if it just bugs it out entirely. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. But yeah, those two aren't fixed yet. We'll go ahead and fix those next. So for that, we need to look at the take damage function in the blueprint, I think. The third-person blueprint. Yeah. So I just need to take this stuff. In the middle here and take HP damage. So this is what it was set up before, as before. And I was just letting it go below 0. So we need to add in this extra processing here. So we still need this. We need to copy this off. We still need this, but we're not going to put it right here. Actually, we don't need that. We need to pull this off over here. This execution path node should come down to here first. Damage. So that minus this. Other way, yeah. Higher minus lesser. That's why I feel like it should be the other way, probably. Alright. If that is less than or equal to 0, we go off the false for the top, and then we set 0 on true. And we just pull it off the off of this. And if true, we need to do another set HP to 0. Oops, come on. Alright, and that should be, so this goes to here and here. This goes to there, false to here, true to there. So okay, yeah, that is how it's set up. The zooming and the placement were a little bit different, so it threw me off a little bit. Alright, so I gotta do the same thing now for actually, no, we don't want to take HP because HP is going to need a different interface on this. AP. So that still sets to there. We also pull this off to here. Pull this down to here. Non-false. We go up to here. And then I'll ensure we do indifferent set AP. Alright, so now that's fixed. Alright, so compile that. Save it. So that's the recovery pad. Now we need to do this, put this, not all this, but use the specific ones here for the drain on each individual damage pad. You should go ahead and close this. We don't need any of that anymore. Content, geometry, damage. Damage. So SP actually is already done. But we're going to use that as a guide for the other ones. Alright, so damage. AP. Take damage, overlap object, that's fine. Need to pull this out. Drag this down. A little bit. Alright, so this goes to here first, and then on false goes to here. Same thing, opposite conditions. Alright. Then we need, so take damage. So we're not gonna, actually no, we are doing the take damage the first time. We don't actually need to, I don't think. If I look at the health one, we're not doing that till after. So actually we could just do that. We'll also go ahead and update this so that we're not using this damage first. Not doing that here. So I'll have to take a little bit of this off of here. Alright, but we will need to use these. I think we'll need to create a HUD ref object on these though, yeah. Variable rather. UI widget. And that's HUD ref. And then we need to get off the HUD ref. So this is damage. We're on AP. AP flash. Oh, arm. That's right. It's not AP, it's arm. Flash damage. It's animation. Alright, and then grab that, really all we need is this. We can just copy the other two from itself. Well, we can just grab the HUD ref here. So yeah, just goes to the stop animation. HUD ref to get arm flash damage. And targets HUD ref. Okay. Oops. So compile that, save it, and do the same thing over here. Actually, both of these. Alright. So set get head reference, set it, pull this down and off, get hull flash damage, set that up to the animation, alright, so cast, so check, cast, set the object, set the bool, get the HUD, set the animation, and then play it. Cast, set, get HUD, set HUD, animation. Okay. If I tried to compile this right now, it would say there's no HUD ref reference. Yeah. HUD ref is not part of this object, so we have to add that again. UI widgets. Oops. And there's a typo. Should be like. Okay. Next we'll drag this out. Get. So target and animation is get hull flash damage. Stop it. And drag that execution pin. Alright. So now we should be all set to actually have everything work the way it's supposed to. Well, not everything to work the way it's supposed to, but work the way that the shield plate does. Alright. Cool. Got the damage flash. Nice. Let's also check for the 0 conditions. Alright. Perfect. So now that I have the UI made, know that it's working somewhat the way that I want it to, in terms of like the animations and whatnot. I can then now go to the next step and actually try and map all this into the actual mock-up for the UI. Before what I was trying to do is try and do everything at once. Do the mock-up for the UI and connect everything together. Without taking this more iterative approach of just doing something simple, making it actually work, then moving that to the next stage where it would be mapped to like the circular UIs for the health interfaces. Cool. Alright, that's going to be it for this live stream. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to do because some of the stuff I want to keep for the update, obviously. But I think like if I'm doing stuff like this where it's just like doing things that will help me do the actual stuff for the development, then maybe I'll do live streams of those. I just want to do the live stream here now just to show that, you know, just kind of give an idea of the coding and everything involved. Let's actually go through the coding actually for all this. I did actually throw this together over just yesterday and today, so it didn't take very long at all. Once I figured out what was wrong with the previous version of it. But so how this works is you have these plates. They have a cube mesh or something. I think that's what it is, a cube mesh. Box collision on them. And if you've ever done any mapping or seen any of the mapping videos for Common Insurrection, this is basically like a trigger area type of box. It's just a thing that you put in there that will, you know, allow you to tell when things pass through it. So you set that up, and on begin overlap and on end overlap, we process all these other events. And since we can't really handle, we can't use on begin overlap only fires once, on end only fires once. So you have to figure out a way to say, okay, once something has started to overlap, we need to tell the on tick events that's actually happening, that is overlapped, and we should do something. That's where the is overlapping bool comes from and why it's needed. So that what we do is then say is, well, something's overlapping, do this. And this happens to be take AP damage. Then once we are not overlapping anymore, then we set that to false. And this runs every time regardless, whether there's overlap or not. It runs all the time. So every tick we're checking this and seeing if this condition is true or not. And if it is, we're taking off AP. If it's not, then we're not doing anything. This stuff though is, instead of what I was trying to do is trying to run this every tick, and it wasn't working properly because of that. For some reason, it's just because you're trying to call something, trying to play an animation that wasn't finished playing yet, I think is what the issue was. So I decided, okay, why don't we just play it and loop it infinitely until while we're actually standing on the pad, and then once we're off the pad, stop playing the animation, because that's really how it should work. And that's how we got to here. It's kind of the same thing for the recover pad, it's just a hell of a lot more stuff in it. Because this has to deal with healing every interface instead of just damaging one, so we have to handle all that stuff. Let's see, is the player blueprint open still? No. Go open it. Third person blueprint and blueprint. So, all this is added functions, and these are the added variables to this. I actually didn't do anything to the event graph for this. This is all what was here originally. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I added the widget. I did this part. Put the UI widget onto the viewport for this object. But other than that, this is all what was already here. As the default stuff for the template of the third-person game perspective. But all this other stuff is just, you know, what's in here. You've seen most of it. So we just pass through the damage, make sure it's not going below 0. Recover SP. This one's kind of a bit different. It's sort of the same idea, except we want to make sure we're not going over the maximum. So in this case, what we're saying is, okay, if the pass-through SP parameter plus SP is less than or equal to max SP condition, true, use this calculation to set SP. If not, just set SP to max SP. So it will be setting max SP every time we're on the healing pad when we reach the maximum, which we're fully healed on these. It'll still be setting it here. You can add another condition in that checks beforehand if the max SP is reached, and then process the rest of this, but that's a little bit more complicated than what this needs to be. But that would be something that you would do for optimization purposes, so that you're not processing code in the background for something you don't really need to. And then isFull is just doing a check on the just basically doing a simple equals check on SP and max SP, then returning the output of that. Get HUD's just getting the HUD reference and returning it. It's still called new parameter. It's funny. Should be RTN HUD ref, I guess. Forgot to name it. Compile, save. That's really all it took to build this thing. If we go over to the UI widget, oh, I guess I kind of showed you that already. I already showed you that stuff. And it was a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be to do. Although it was made from an already existing template, it's not from scratch like I did the previous one, which I think is part of the problem. I think some of that wasn't set up correctly. Let me just go ahead and save this. Let me open up the previous version here. Maybe it'll load. There we go. Just took a little bit of time. Probably because I had to unload the 4.18 stuff and reload 4.17 in the memory or something. Because whenever you click on these, it actually it's the same as clicking on this launch button up here at the top and then opening the project. So I think when you click on launch, it's loading various things into memory. So I think that's why it took a bit longer to open. But we're stuck on initializing. Alright, here we go. I still haven't really nailed down exactly what was not working in this one. Other than that, it just didn't work for some reason. Could be a number of things, though. We're going to go see if I can figure out what exactly happened with this. Alright, well, for one, I don't think we're in the right map. Oh, whatever. See if we look at our blueprints here. Oh, that's interesting. So do you have the whole trigger? There's nothing in here. I wonder if maybe it didn't load correctly or something. Or maybe this isn't the version I thought it was. There doesn't seem to be anything in here. It's weird. What's going on with that? Player pawn BP. Scale, consume, movement, input vector, event tick. I'm not sure if this is the right one, actually. Yeah, so here's the meter I tried to make before to test with. This will be something similar to what will be on the next version of this. Let's go to the graph. Yeah, no, there's like nothing here. That's weird. It looks like it loaded up this one instead of this one. UE4 projects. Oh, UI test. Ah! I overwrote it. That's what happened. No, UI test. No, I didn't. UI test 4.18. That's different. Different folder. Launch this. And then open up. I don't know what happened to this. I think it got corrupted somehow or overwritten somehow. It's definitely not where I left it at. No, yeah, it's well, I can't tell what was wrong with it because it worked. Which I guess is fine since we actually have something that works now. So yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff that's just for the UI. For this like test of the UI. It's given me a little bit better of an idea of what to expect when I come in here to actually write all the rest of it. Not sure how much of the game I'll be able to do through blueprinting or not, but it should be interesting to see exactly how that's going to fold into Unreal, the Unreal Engine 4 coding / blueprinting / whatever, and how to process all that. So, this is going to be the end of the stream for real this time. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching it afterwards, feel free to leave any comments. If you haven't done so already, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. It'll allow you to keep up to date as far as what we're doing with uploads and things, or if we're doing any live streams like this. Because maybe we'll be doing some more of these in the future. But now that I know that this channel can do live streaming, I'll be doing any live streaming I do for Odyssian Void on this channel instead of on Lifeman Productions Squared's main channel. Just to kind of keep them separated so that you don't have to keep going back and forth between them to find all the different stuff. I did notice though that I actually still have some Developers Log 19 videos I never released, and that's kind of interesting. That's the live. Well, I actually have this open a bunch of times, don't I? Why is this open so many times? Which I think I'm debating whether or not to actually release them. So yeah, these here. I did part 1, but then all the rest of them I didn't actually do, which was interesting. So I'm debating whether or not to either just leave them there or delete them, or to make them public. But shall see. Might have some. Might have these coming up soon too. I have no clue what they're about or what's in them. Probably has to do with more of this stuff or something. But if I do another one of these, it'll probably be maybe sometime between March and June, when I might do another one of these. By then I might be moving more towards developing a small scale version of the game, in terms of like the universe hierarchy and stuff like that within UE4. Building a couple systems, connecting them to some jump gates, and trying to see if I can make that all work out. And then from there, be able to use that to build templates and things to spawn out systems whenever they're really needed, when we need to spawn them out. But until next time, it's George Williams, and I will see you later.